Hey guys, it's Kevin with New World Carpentry Solutions. Right now, I'm just kind of tackling the project, kind of spur of the moment. I have two of my nephews. They're upstairs right now, currently taking care of something with my mom. So I wanted to try to surprise them by making them custom wooden katanas. I have most of the pieces kind of already laid out. I started doing some of the joinery. I already have the tangs cut out. I have the marks where I need to relieve them, and I kind of have an idea for what I want to do for the guard. Kind of just sketch something out on some oak panels. I already have them resawn, so I'm going to double stick them together, cut these out on the bandsaw, and then I started making the handles. I have this portion chiseled out. I have all the other ones marked. I'm going to do all this with hand tools. So I'm not really going to do too much talking back and forth to the camera. It's really just going to be watching me go throughout this process. I don't have my TV set up behind me, so I can't see the chat. But if I do get any comments and everything else, I'll probably check the phone every now and again. But I think the first thing we're going to do is come over here to the bandsaw and relieve the tangs over here on the bandsaw. And then we're going to double stick these pieces of oak together and cut out our guard. And then the rest of this is going to be hand tools, pretty much chiseling out the portion that the tang slides through, and then hollowing out our handles. After the handles are hollowed out, I'll be able to glue all this together, then kind of shape the handles and round them and everything else. So let's get this done on the bandsaw first. Alright, with both of the tangs and the blades cut out, the next step is to go ahead and cut out the guard. And it looks like I need to do a little bit more chiseling to get this handle to be sitting at half depth. Alright, but yeah, let's cut out the guard and then we'll head over to the hand tool bench to do all of our hand tool joinery. So with this, I have the template laid out on the front side. Hello, bro. Hey, what's up, boss man? How you guys doing? I'm probably going to jump back and forth over to the camera to see what's going on. Again, I typically would have my chat set up on my TV up front, but I could not get the screen mirror to work. And then my nephews had just gotten here, so I decided to kind of, do this project kind of last minute. But I appreciate everybody who definitely drops into the chat. Definitely feel free to comment amongst yourself. If you guys have any questions, I'll be hopping back over to read what you guys say every now and again. But again, for those of you who are just getting in here, currently what we're doing is building a set of matching wooden katanas. Both my nephews are inside, so I'm making some swords for them to play around with. They're inside cleaning up and stuff for my mom, so I figured it'd be pretty cool if I can make them a set of katanas. They don't know what's happening right now, so it'd be a pretty cool surprise. And, a little flex of my skills and a use of my scrap hardwoods. So what we're doing right now is taking our guard piece and we're double stick taping it. I might throw some blue tape on it just to make sure. It seems fine enough. That should be good. I need to raise up my bandsaw guard. And again, so you guys can see, we have a template laid out for what we want our guards to look like on our swords. And we're going to cut them out at the same time by doing two of them. These are two different pieces that I've double stick taped together. Alright, this is the rough shape of them. The rest of this can get refined with the sander. What I will do before I separate, go ahead and drill a hole through the middle and kind of hog out the majority of the waste so my tank can slide through them. And then let's go ahead and take all care of all that over on the hand tool bench. So we're going to reposition the camera and set us up over there. I think that'll be a good spot for you guys to be able to see everything. Let me grab all the materials and let's get us over here and set up. And actually I have another light I can plug in. Where's the plug? Let's see if this helps with how dark it is right here. That helps out a little bit. There we go. So now we're over here at the hand tool bench. We have our guards made up. We have all of our blanks cut out for our handles. We have all the markings laid out for where I need to chisel. And then I have one of them that is already chiseled. We have our guard pieces that still needs this portion of it hogged out. And then we need to kind of sand and smooth all this. So what I'm going to do first is actually set this up inside the vise. Then I'm going to go grab a drill bit and hog out majority of that waste with the drill bit. Then I'm going to come back with the chisel and finish that up. That's not too big. Oh. I popped the double-sided tape loose. Let's go ahead and get that down in the vise to where it can't spin. There we go. That right there is a good portion of the waste removed. And then what we're probably going to do is set up one of these vices down here. It's one of the good reasons, or one of the good things about having a bench with various bench dogs like this. You can set up various clamping scenarios. So in this case, I'm going to be chopping down so let's go right on my pencil line. Give it a chop on this side. Give a chop over here, but I also need a smaller chisel. Where is my 1/2-inch chisel? On the bench over there. There we go. Yo, glad I made it to your live. Hey, how you doing, Squirrel Turds? And yes, this live right here is actually an improvised one. I was just in the shop. I was actually getting ready to build a new fence for my table saw. I actually just built a new fence for my bandsaw, and I was about to start filming those things, but then my nephews came over, so I decided to build them some custom swords. They're inside the house currently cleaning, so we're going to build some custom swords for them. We have the handles already kind of made up. I went ahead and dated out or chiseled out one section. I have the other three to chisel. This is going to slot in like so. And then we have our guards that I'm about to chisel so our tangs can then slide through. We have two pieces currently double stuck taped together, so I can chisel them all at the same time. Again, I'm not really a hand tool enthusiast, but I figured this quick little live stream would give me a chance to show off some of my hand tool skills and try to make them a really quick present before they leave the house. So, trying to accomplish multiple things in a short period of time. But again, they don't even know I'm doing this. So even if I don't finish before they come out, they won't know. And I've been thinking about live streaming more. I've done like one live stream so far on the channel, and I'm trying to gain my watch time hours. So I figure live streams give you guys, my audience, a better chance to hang out with me. And it's not so much filming required on my part, which, if you guys do know, it's not my best asset. Pretty good at the nails and wood part. Making videos, not so much. Oh no, came loose. What I'm trying to do initially, I went ahead and drilled out the bulk of it. On both pieces at the same time. I was hoping the double stick tape will last long enough for me to actually chisel all the way through this one and get my outline marked on this one. It may or may not work that way. I think if I re-double stick it, it'll probably work. Let me grab some more tape. Your video's amazingly improving. You're doing well. I appreciate it. I appreciate it again. And yeah, they're definitely getting better. My biggest issue is, again, I film too much content. Like, I don't need 30, 40 minutes of me at the table saw. I need to have more cutaways. I'm going to pull away and grab some double stick tape. But yeah, one of my biggest issues is I need to have more cutaways and ways to keep people engaged with my content. So I probably need, 2-3 minutes at the table saw, but then cut from the table saw to a different angle at the table saw to maybe my face, so all that different camera work is definitely what slows me down the most. And I don't really put too much thought into it when I'm actually actively out here building stuff like right now, which is why a live stream is something that's definitely easier for me to do, because all I have to do is, set up the camera and kind of walk around the shop with it, which is about all I do when I actually record. So it gives me a little bit more freedom to do that. One thing I can say is about live streaming. To do this, it'd be easier if I was live streaming like something I actually had a plan for. This, I am kind of just winging it, seeing what I can and can't do with some hand tools, utilizing some of the scrap that's just laying around the shop, and trying to make something cool for my nephews all at the same time. Might be a little ambitious. There we go. Clean chop all the way down. Then half that. All right. It's not perfect, but for an 8-year-old kid, I think that's fine. A little bit of sanding, but yeah, we'll make that work. I might even throw a wedge or something in there. That will do. And then I already have this one laid out. And so I don't just blow through this. I want to back it up with something. You check. Yeah, definitely in the process of trying to do a little bit of winging. Because again, I have enough subscribers. My biggest goal right now is try to get monetized, just so I can justify my woodworking just a little bit more. Because right now I am currently a full-time general contractor, kitchens, bathrooms, and things of that nature. And I have the aspirations to do more custom furniture and things like that. So, trying to grow my presence on social media is kind of important. So I've been pushing more on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Just want to try to get my name out there a little bit more. Hopefully get some pretty cool clients from it. I think one of the things I definitely want to start doing is making some funny videos. A lot of people who know me know that I'm actually pretty hilarious, but none of that ever comes across in any of my videos, partially because, again, maybe I'm camera shy. Maybe I don't think about it when I'm actively filming. But, I have a couple funny video ideas I want to try out. A couple sketches and whatnot. I think it'll bring a little bit more personality to the channel. There we go. And I didn't ding up my bench too bad. I need to clear out that back side. Almost. There we go. This one is actually what I was aiming for, something nice and tight like that. That's cool. Yeah, that's nice and solid. So the next step, the one that I've really been dreading and one of the reasons why I love power tools, is this is quite a bit of chiseling. I actually did this one before I went live, and it's a good bit of work. Let's see. Love the shop and your work ethic. I understand the extra effort you put in. Appreciate your work. Hey, I definitely appreciate, again, all the people who, been actively watching my channel. And Squirrel Turds, I don't think you've gotten to see the shop tour when I did go live the first time. I think currently right now on my channel, this bench is what I'm currently building. So this gets finished. The next thing I do after I finish this bench, well, the next step ends up being the cabinet down beneath, and I add a sliding dead man. So I'm able to pretty much clamp things all along the face of the bench. So I believe the video I put out today was me actually drilling all the bench stock holes. I end up adding that sliding dead man, build a cabinet that goes underneath. I'm debating on adding a scrap wood bin, kind of just tucked away over here, because where I'm supposed to be putting drawers has been full of scraps. Didn't really take long. I have a scrap bin there. I have the one that's been hanging on the back of the door for a while. I guess a general shop tour. I typically have my hand tool bench here in the back. My jointer actually slides right over here in the corner, so I pull that out whenever I need it. My dust collector has just been sitting back there. The place where that's going to get housed is actually going to be mounted right up here above my thickness planer. Probably going to run some dust collection to this back room, because where my dust collector is now, I'm planning to get a 3D printer, CNC, and a laser engraver and kind of build a table for all that right there. This corner is just going to be my exercise bike and my air compressor. Might put some cabinets and stuff on the wall. And as you come through these doors, thickness planer, miter saw, a table saw, which I love. I'm about to build a new fence for this. The radial arm saw, which I haven't got them running, but that's going to get fixed. I'm planning to make a plywood storage section that kind of just stores full sheets of plywood right here. Bathroom. Another thing that's been added is we now have a third recliner. Been kind of just adding these. I actually love the ability to house multiple people out here when we're sitting out here watching TV as a family and everything else. Got the cushions and stuff done over there. And I believe something else that hasn't gotten to YouTube are these two new benches. We got the car lift that's been sitting out here for a while out. So now I have these two Palk style benches that I did add jacks beneath each one of them. So each one of these benches can raise and lower. They're all adjustable height. So I can make them in line with any one of the tools inside of the shop. Being my main outfeed table. They can raise up to the height of my bandsaw, my drill press. They can meet the planer. So pretty much they can be used for infeed and outfeed for any one of the tools in here. And then they just give me, again, more storage. All those boxes are a bunch of IKEA furniture I recently put together. So nix all that. Finally got a computer out here. Then I moved the drill saw, drill press, and bandsaw up to the front of the shop and put the material cart over here. It gives me access to both sides of the material cart. Another build that I just did recently. It's probably not going to be on the YouTube channel for quite a while, but I made a fence for my bandsaw because most of these smaller ones don't come with the fence. So I made one out of some scrap wood, and this has been pretty awesome. Did that probably about 3 days ago, and now I'm able to resaw boards over here on my bandsaw. I do plan to build a taller auxiliary fence that kind of mounts in with T-bolts. That's something that's going to be coming later. And that's pretty much all the recent upgrades. And so, oh, I did do this recently as well. I made my first crosscut sled. Yes, definitely major progress, especially if you've been watching my channel since I think I got into this garage space about a year and a half ago. And what's crazy is if you go back to my very first videos, they were all of me inside of my box truck, because my very first shop was my box truck. It's an 8x12, and I have my miter saw, table saw, everything inside of there. So all my first videos were there, and then I kind of used that to build these bank of cabinets. And then with this bank of cabinets, I was able to consolidate all of my dad's car stuff. This is my dad's garage, and he had tools and stuff kind of sprawled everywhere. So the first thing we had to do in here was give him a place to put all of his tools. So after doing all that, then I kind of just start building the shop from there. Started with the outfeed table, table saw, material cart, and the miter saw cart. And that kind of led to, okay, I have a functional shop. Then I built the planer cart, hand tool bench, drill press setup, and I kind of just kept adding as we went. And there used to be a large car lift right here. So this whole front area was not accessible to me to pretty much do anything. The car lift is now sitting outside in the carport. So now that gave me the excuse to build two more benches, which definitely is awesome because it gives me the flat surfaces that I seem to need. But even though I have more flat surfaces, there's always stuff on top of everything. Don't know how to keep that under control. I think that's probably impossible. Pretty sure everybody's shop looks like this, for the most part anyway. All right. Squirrel turds. Actually, before I get back into this, have you ever seen my box truck? Is that, I think that might have been a little bit before you joined my channel. Well, let me know before I get back to this. I can show a quick little tour of the inside of the box truck as well. Because again, I am a general contractor, so for the most part, most of my work is on site. Okay, you've seen all those? Okay. Well, yeah, I haven't really done much inside of there because once I got access to the bigger shop, pretty much all my energy and money has gone in here versus the truck. But again, most of my work is on site, so I typically doors, windows, baseboard, crown molding, built-in bookshelves, and things of that nature. So the truck is what I use to get most of that done. But again, I have a hobby for making furniture, so when I'm not doing somebody's floor, kitchen, I like to spend time inside of the shop. I'm just trying to, again, find ways. Actually, one thing I can show you guys. Another thing I did do, because I love making furniture. So every now and again, I try to find something else I can do. And this was made out of some of the scrap mahogany stuff I had. This will be one of the next videos coming to the YouTube channel. Well, it's actually probably pretty far off. But just a set of end tables. I kind of use them here inside the shop. But mahogany, red oak. This is red oak stained walnut. And I love wooden drawer slides. So I guess the first thing about it is if you pull on it, she doesn't open. Which most wooden drawer slides, this will just fall right out. So you have to lift to bypass the first stop. And then the second problem with wooden drawer slides is as you pull it out, the drawer itself will want to fall out. This one does not. You have to lift to take it out. And that is because I added these stops. So there's one stop right here at the back of the drawer that stops it from pulling all the way out. This stop here is what makes you have to lift up to actually slide it in and out of the cabinet. Oh, see if I can do that one-handed. And then I made a matching set. There's another one back over there that I do probably plan to put right there in between the other recliners. Alright, back into the part that, again, I might just make them one sword and do the other one with the router. Because the amount of chiseling that I have to do to get this done is quite a bit. So, one of the first things you want to do for the actual handle piece is outline what you needed. And I believe it was like 3/8. I've already outlined all of them. But as I outline them, I wanted to bring it over here to my vise. And I've already done this part too. But I took my gauge and my knife and scored a line going all the way across through here. That knife mark makes it easier for your chisel to find where it goes. Gives your chisel somewhere to lock into. So as you go to chisel, you don't fuck that up. One thing I do need to mark is how deep I need to go, and this was set at 3/16. So I'll mark that. And score that with my knife. Probably need to go ahead and do that on all of them. Alright, my one thing I can ask is you guys don't criticize me too much. I am not a hand tool specialist. Let's see, I already did this one too. So we're going to crank this down in here. And what we want to try to do is get all of our vertical chops in, following our knife line. We have our depth here. So I want to get this chop about as deep as that. And then we're going to come through with the chisel and work our way all the way down this by chopping out the majority of it. Switch it here into the vise and then pare down until we get to where we want it to be. I actually should probably grab my 1-inch chisel. And again, once you have your knife line right there, I can rest half my chisel in that kerf I just made and rock it until I find my knife line. Give it a couple thwacks and repeat this all the way down my line. And actually, before I get to the end, because if I do this, I have the possibility to split this all the way out because of how the grain is running. So I'm going to take my chisel and chop straight down here. I will say this hand tool bench is awesome. I've chopped on my other Polk style benches and you get a lot more vibration. This just feels extremely solid. One thing I can say is that this would be a lot easier if I had a routing plane. There we go. We're just going to take my knife line down to there. And then we're going to start removing Whew. Oh, that's way too much. Alright, now that we have the baseline started, let me get this almost down to that line. Whew. Alright, go back around and re-chop. Yeah, after getting into this chisel process, I will say I was a bit ambitious. I'm thinking I was going to chisel out 2 of these. Right now, it's looking very much like only one of them is getting a sword, and maybe if I have time, I'm about to set up the router. Because, yeah, my hands already hurt. Oh, no, I went too far. Oh, and looks like they're done. Nope, that was just my brother. That can get glued back on. That's almost down to the bottom. So set this up in the vise. Whew. I want you to know this is quite a bit. Definitely have so much respect for older carpenters and craftsmen, because almost to my line. And that is right here is where my limited chisels haunt me, because that's perfectly flat and where I want it, but my chisel can't reach in far enough to get the whole thing. So I'm gonna have to bevel down, scrape the rest of that. But the problem is the grain is running in the opposite direction. There we go. Whew. And this other one needs to go deeper. So we have that much further to go between the two of them before these two pieces would mate together. Then I had to cut the tang just a little bit shorter than the guard. Then I had to shape the handles, kind of round these off a little bit. Because after I get this cleaned out in the middle, I'll glue these together. Sit this in the vise and hit it with the block plane to kind of round it. We're almost there. I could always make this thinner too, but I want to make sure this is nice and strong. So I'm not going to do that. Just going to do a lot more chiseling, unfortunately. All right. Actually, let's take this one back over here and chop again. I gotta extend it out further. Think I'm cheat. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. All right. I need a little bit more on the front. Yeah. So I can tell pretty much from here forward, I need to take a little bit more out. And I can do that in the vise by pairing. So I'm gonna bring this back over here and pair the rest of that out. And then I have the other one to do. And then we pretty much should be set up. Well, no, first glue up is glue up this handle, and then I'll probably cheat on the other one and set up the router. So I should make sure. Also, in theory, that's why that trash can is right there. In theory, to keep up most of the mess. All right. Are we about halfway seated? There's still a belly in this one. That's one of the benefits of a router plane. Definitely wish I had one for something like this. Gives you the ability to flatten something out a lot easier. I've seen Rex Kruger make one, and I thought about it a few times. Just using the old chisel. Whew. I think the next time I plan a live or try to do a live, it would not be something I do with hand tools. Because I am actually exhausted. I think it's only been like an hour. Alright, this is almost to where she needs to be. I just need to take this side down just a little bit more. And that is this one. Let's see, I'm on the verge of transitioning into final woodworking from company. Carpentry myself, a lot of respect for the talents and effort. Hey, boss man, I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, that transition from finished carpentry to woodworking, I think for me, I've been in construction for probably about 10 years, been a carpenter pretty much that whole entire time. I started off as the helper, the guy who put down ram board and everything else. Within about 2 years, I was doing crown molding, doors, baseboards. Finally tackled my first set of stairs. I went from old remodel contractors to new construction, to where all we did was everyday doors, baseboard, crown molding. You know, kind of what I did every day. That started to get boring though, and then I end up building my first jig. Actually, I think it was a set of stair jigs, so I can do stairs better. And after I built my first jig, I started looking into like better ways to do certain things, and that led down to making templates and using a router for more than just a round over, and that led into me getting kind of hooked into the finer side of woodworking versus just cut a miter, nail it up on the wall. You want to reinforce the miter, use biscuits, pocket holes, hyper adhesive, just different things, or taking that craft to another level is kind of what led me into woodworking, just because I wanted to figure out what were some of the better methods and older traditional methods to do things. And that kind of just led me into, building my first piece of furniture. I think the first thing I built was a bench. Typically on the job site, you're not using any type of bench. You're probably just working off of, your table saw, maybe your miter saw. You probably don't even have miter saw wings. You're probably just working off of like a job site, miter saw stand with like, the little bars or whatever else, like flat, square. You don't really have the ability to be as precise as you do once you get into your first your workspace. Your first workshop, you get your first bench, and then you realize that, holy crap, I can build on something that's flat. That's, at waist height. It's definitely the first big change that I kind of, reason why I kind of delved into this more. I'm 31 now. I feel like I'm older. I do a lot of floors, bending over and picking up large materials, gutting kitchens and bathrooms. Those things that I'm kind of feeling like before I'm 45, 50, I would like to be full-time inside of a shop, sending guys out to install, custom doors, bookshelves, or cabinets. So I'm trying to gear my business more toward, I'll build you a custom door, trying to link in with some of the builders I already know, build them custom doors, build them a custom island or something like that for, the kitchen. Probably won't build the whole kitchen because, again, my shop isn't large enough to do a full kitchen. I probably could get away with it, but not quite there. But secondly, the cost of a custom kitchen for me would be a lot more than, buying some decent enough cabinets. So I recommend to a lot of my contractors, go buy all your kitchen cabinets. Let me build your island. Let me build, the centerpiece of your kitchen. Let me do a custom countertop to your kitchen. It's kind of how I'm trying to pitch myself so I can do more custom things. Hold up, I'm getting a phone call. I don't know who that is. And I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I think I'm about to smoke a cigarette. I'm going to take me a quick little break and probably just chat with you guys for a second because my arms are tired. I don't know how YouTube or these platforms feel about smoking or anything like that on live, so I'm just going to stand behind the camera and read some of the comments. I hear that. Less you have to bend over. At my age, the better. Excellent video quality. I feel like you're doing all the right things and hope you get the support that you need. Your skill set is impressive. I've seen a lot of it, but it's not all your videos. Hey, I appreciate it. And yeah, I definitely feel like I've come a long way. It's definitely been a lot. Definitely been able to learn a lot. And like one thing I've been, one of the biggest reasons why I kind of got out of general construction is because I have a really large passion for like the actual craft itself. And when it comes to most builders or homes today, even on the higher end ones, they don't understand the architecture or the importance of the trim that they're putting inside of the houses. There's a YouTuber that got me started into delving into like what actually matters into going into a home. I believe his name is Brent Hull, owner of Hull Millworks, and like learning about architraves and how your door has a full entablature, how your crown molding is supposed to tie into your door casing, and the size of your baseboard being based on the height of your ceilings, and the size of your casing is based on the height of your ceilings. The proportions that actually go into trim carpentry is completely lost nowadays. Most builders are going to grab you a speed base and put that same speed base, either 5 1/4 or 7 1/4, throughout the whole entire house. There's no care for base caps, backbands, or even the contractors who will use a backband. They'll just throw a backband on a piece of colonial casing and think that it elevates the space versus wondering why you need to add a backband. The backband would be there so you can actually put a thicker chair rail down the hallway. The height of your chair rails are based on the height of your columns or the height of your ceiling. All the different proportions that actually go into building a proper trim package is completely lost in today's building. And I live in Virginia, so I work around a lot of older historic homes. So whenever I get the chance to build or work inside of a historic home, I get more excited. Most builders I work for, though, are doing new construction, so they don't have the craft or care to yes, it's been completely lost. The craft behind why we do the things that we do has been lost. I think I spent like 2 hours just talking to my nephew yesterday about moldings and how planes, instead of going to go buy a crown molding profile. Somebody just text me. Who is that? Karen Brooks. Oh, I just got a client asking me about getting the barn door built. That is awesome. I'm probably going to call her back after this live stream. Like, I have 2 or 3 projects that I'm definitely excited to probably bring to the channel. I'm fingers crossed I actually get them. I have one client who lives in a house that was built 99 years ago. It's fairly old, but it has a full pediment across the front side of the house. He wants a door built. He wants a porch to extend off of that pediment. So we have to copy all the details that is in that full pediment, the architrave and everything else. He has a sun ray kind of sitting in the middle of it. And we're going to do a custom porch for him and build a door. Then that'd be a great project to show off some of my skills. And then I have another project that's currently up in North Carolina. A client wants me to install about, I think it's 25 8-foot tall solid wood doors. I'm going to build door jambs, then hang them, baseboard, crown molding. It's about a 12,000 square foot barn dominium. So I live in Virginia, so I'll probably actually go down there and stay for probably a week at a time. So that gives me the chance to do a lot of filming, maybe. I'll be able to film as I install all the doors, show you guys how I install doors, and kind of go through that process. So I have a couple projects, but my biggest issue is I don't really get time to film on the job site like I would like to, which is why most of my videos are here inside the shop with me farting around with a project or two, because most of my actual jobs, my 9 to 5 that keeps me busy, no real time to sit down and record. But when I go down to North Carolina, I'll probably again be working like the whole time I'm down there. So setting up cameras and kind of just having those roll as I do stuff should be possible. We'll see how that goes. Now, I'm not gonna lie, squirrel turds, I'm looking at this piece and I am debating if I want to cheat and set up my router table, because it would take no time at all to set the router to the proper depth and just push it through, put a stop on it so it doesn't go all the way through the back, and get these dialed in. I do want to make a router plane. I seen Rex Kruger make one, but just by taking a chisel and a block of wood and kind of clamping it in there. Would make this a lot easier, because then I can rest it and reference off of this face and route to a proper depth without pretty much guessing and checking, chopping and whatnot. And if you guys can see this, I did make one mistake. This back little piece blew out when I was chiseling earlier. Again, not a hand tool enthusiast. I'm definitely trying to get there. I think this is probably one of my flattest and cleanest like chisel out profiles, but I'm only half the depth that I need to get. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a little disheartening. So much work to actually get that done. I'm trying to think if there's another way to do it, because again, all I have is chisels. I do have a router, but again, I feel like that's cheating. I could have not cared and actually used a dado set and plowed a dado all the way through here, and then just glued a flat piece on the back of it, and you'll never know that I plowed the dado all the way through. It's a quick and easy way to cheat. Debating. I think after this cigarette, I might cheat and set up the router table. And knock out those other 2 handles. Yeah, I'm leaning toward the router table, to be honest. My arms are tired. My nephews are upstairs cleaning, doing some chores for my mom. And again, the goal of this is to be able to give them both a sword when they leave. So, at this rate, that's not going to happen. Yes, having access to the tools is not cheating. I like the way that you think. I did recently put my router table back here. I hung it up. It's pretty far away. Just trying to find ways like this crosscut sled. I have a bigger one that I made that's hanging up back here. This one's gonna be able to hang on the door. My router table used to hang on the bathroom wall, but now that I'm storing plywood over there, I have it all the way in the back of the shop. And yeah, we're just gonna set up the router table, I believe. And I think I got the perfect bit for it. All the random scrap you guys are seeing around the shop. Again, this wasn't part of the plan. I was supposed to be building a table saw fence. This was going to be what I used to actually skin the fence so I can write on it with a marker. Easy to wipe off and stuff. I have a bunch of plywood laying around all over the place as well. Oh, wrong hole. Another thing I would love to do, probably going to do eventually, is on that Delta table saw, is get a router and build a full extension wing. Probably replace these aluminum stamp pieces with a large piece of plywood, build a table, drop a router into it, and then probably get rid of the legs on this table saw. Build a whole entire cabinet, some shelves to store various pieces of equipment down there. Probably my router table, router fence. Probably one of my crosscut sleds. Put this on better wheels because this one only has 3 wheels. Has that one pivoting wheel and the 2 stationaries on this side. So that way I don't have to set up a router table is the goal. So I always have one kind of set up inside the shop and ready to go. This one isn't too bad to set up though. And she's portable. This is the one I typically use on my job sites. Whenever I need a router table, I just bring this one with me. Stows away pretty easy. One thing I do want to get is the TSO power lock dogs. Make this easier to clamp down. Let's see which router bit. I can use this one. They're good. go. Alright, let's bring the camera around to this side. We'll get this all set up to finish up those cuts. All right. First thing I need to do is set the bit height. And I can go a little bit taller than that is, and go a little bit lower. I think that will do. I'm gonna have to do 2 passes. Because I don't have a bit big enough to do it in one. And then run it all the way until I get to right there. So I need to set up a stop and grab one more clamp. Let's use this. Let's use this. That will do that. I'm pretty sure the camera can't see anything where it is. Let's see if I put it over here. see if that works. Before I do that other pass, let me make sure that's deep enough. Let's see, how thick is this? Yeah, that is 7/16. I want these to be all right. That should do it. I need to do is slide the fence back. I mean, 10 years, and the knowledge you have is amazing, in my opinion, with the work I've seen you do. With this, I'm not doing anything more than a 3/16 cut. I believe the rule of thumb is no more than half the diameter of the bit is what you can take. So if you have a 3/8 inch wide bit, take like 3/16 passes or something like that. It's one of those rules of thumb. But yeah, for something like this, I'm taking less than less than 3/16 of a pass. And mahogany machine's really, really good. Minus my little whoopsie right there, but she's cutting pretty clean. All you need to do now is inch the fence over to clean up that last shoulder. Then maybe take a chisel and square that off. But I have it to where the rounded portion comes right past my line, so I might not even need to chisel that off. I just need to readjust my fence, take one more pass, and pencil. Actually, let me do that on one of the ones that I already have cut. And yeah, now I am taking the same depth, but now I'm taking like, a 16th or 1/8 inch wide pass. So I think I'm more than fine with the router depth. These are only 1/4 inch shank bits, so you definitely do want to take less of a pass with these, but in this scenario, I think we're more than fine to finish this up. looks like after all that dialing in I did, I mean, clamps might close that up. Yeah, let me slide that down. The clamps might close that up enough, but I think I need to go just a skosh deeper. And then I can cut the tank to length, glue these up as a solid blank. But honestly, I think I'm going to need to... So I'm going to shape these with my block plane. I won't be able to shape it once it's all put together. So I might just clamp these together inside the vise as a solid unit, then hit them with the plane, then glue all this up all at one time. But I do need to raise the fence. I'm going to raise the bit just a little bit and route out two of them just a little bit deeper. I think that should do it. But now the trick is going to be setting the fence back up to where I had it for the first one. We'll figure that out after I cut these two. There we go. All right. A lot less tedious on my arms. Hey there, Echo Woodcrafts. Currently, this is kind of a spur of the moment project. Two of my nephews that came over, and originally started off with all hand tools, but I'm making them a pair of swords. I started off by chiseling out the handles, but then got tired, so came over to the router table, and now we have handles. We have the guard over there on the hand tool bench, so I just need to cut down the tangs to the proper length, and probably go ahead and shape the handles, sand the guard, and then I can do the glue up. I do need to take a quick leak, but then I'm going to do that, and I'm debating on if I'm going to bevel the actual sword itself, like with my hand plane. I'm thinking on it, debating on it. They're kids. I think if it's flat, it's safer than if it's, comes to a point. But we'll see. Let me take a leak, and then we'll move on to the very next step. Let's turn the camera away from the bathroom. One thing I can say is that this is, again, completely being winged off the cuff. I have no plans, or, I didn't really think about the best process to do a lot of this as before I started. I kind of just saw them come over. I had scrap wood, and I was like, hey, make something for them. And now we're here. We have the guards that need to be sanded. We have one of the swords over here. All they really need is a handle. The debate is, again, if I'm going to try to bevel this edge or not. I'm not gonna lie, after all the chiseling I'm done, I'm kind of not really feeling the hand tools for the rest of the day. And I don't want to start it, do one, then see it takes too long, then not want to do the other. So I might give it a shot, give it a couple passes with the hand plane and see what I can do. Because at this point, the only thing left is, again, shaping the handles. Make the sword round? You're saying make the actual sword round, or are you saying round the handles? Or are you saying just make this itself on the front side round? So I can cheat and just hit this with both sides with a round over. And I think that would be cool too. That would be a lot easier than hand planing it. Or are you saying round the handles? Wait, is that a yes to the sword or the handle? I also do want to apologize. I typically have my chat up on my actual TV right over here, so I can kind of see what you guys are saying to me. But again, spur of the moment, I did not set up the screen mirror on my phone, so I have to come back here and look to see what you guys are saying. And yeah, I guess I very well could just throw a round over down the edge of this blade and save me a lot of extra work. I do like that. I might have a round over chucked up in my router right now. And I do. That might be the answer. I like the way you're thinking. Now, what I want to do, ideally, is get the round over to the proper height to where it's just meeting in the middle. I probably should actually run this on the router table up against the fence versus freehand, because once it's rounded, there's no way to because yeah, if I do it by hand, once I round the first side, there's almost like no edge for me to ride on. I probably can balance it. Don't know for sure that I can. Let's see. Let's actually start with the round over. Let's bring that up some. Let's see where we hit at. I like your idea. Definitely a lot faster, and I definitely feel more. I can definitely do it. Just draw the round over. Just gonna get the round over to where it hits about the middle of my line. Definitely a better idea. Definitely a much faster way to do that. And I can hit that with a little bit of sandpaper on my sander, and I'll dial that in for them. That works. Too bad I don't have a massive round over for these handles. I feel like for the handles, I damn near do need to round these by hand. Because, I mean, I could just use my biggest round over and see what that gives me. Let me try that first, actually. Because it's not cheating if you've already bought the tool once. Yeah, definitely. It does remove the bulk of it, and I can always come back and remove more. So let's see what we're looking like after I do this. I don't think it's going to be enough. I almost want these things to be like damn near an oval. But it does feel better in the hands with just that little bit. So maybe after doing both sides, I might not have to do any more hand tooling. And this is, for, for little kids, It doesn't have to be perfect. They'll be happy, with the ability to go home with some swords. Definitely appreciate the idea. Pretty sure they will too when they actually get to go home with swords today. And you know what? There are small kids though. They might actually want a smaller handle than this. I can wrap my hand around it. It should be like a little bit thinner. I'll hit the rest of that with sandpaper. Actually, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it like that. Then if actually, what I want to do, so I can make it thinner with just the hand plane, and that won't take too long. And then if I want to route it, I can route it again. That's going against the grain. Not wrong. That is against the grain. Yeah, that's a quick and easy way to take some down off the back. I could always go back to the table so I actually remove some, but the whole purpose of this live was for me to do a lot of stuff with hand tools. And yeah, that thinned it down quite a bit. Yeah, if I hit this one with that same couple passes, then I can hit it with the router one more time. And then I think we have a workable handle. What do you guys think? No, I don't have a belt sander. And yeah, definitely cooking. And no, the belt sander is one of the last things I do want. I did have like a really old like spindle sander station back over there that did have a belt to it, but no dust collection on it. And keeping that inside the shop was going to make a huge mess. So I got rid of that. I do plan to get the rigid oscillating spindle sander station because I think that would be nice to have. But and a drum sander one of these days. Somebody's gonna love me enough to buy me a drum sander and a saw stop table saw. I am waiting for it. So then I can call myself a real woodworker, a real YouTube woodworker. That is so satisfying. I love getting curls from planing. Like, again, traditional finish carpenter here. Almost never used a plane in my day-to-day work. But since I've been inside the shop, plane shavings are like, these are practically therapeutic. I hate chiseling, but I will sit here and hand plane all day. And I'll do it in my flip-flops. Need to bring that side down some. There we go. Whew. I think that once I actually reroute these, will make a good sword handle. Beautiful. Let me grab the other two. I'm actually going to hit them with the plane first. Then I'm going to round over all these pieces. Then all I think I have to do is cut this to length. And then I can go through and assemble all these, hopefully before they come downstairs. No rasp either. Again, my hand tool selection is severely limited. You know, I'm a power tool woodworker, to be honest. This bench was actually spur of the moment. I think my only good handsaw that I have to my name is this one. She's not the sharpest, but like, again, we're getting there. I can easily go spend about $400 or $500 in chisels, planes. I would love to have a router plane. I would love to have a decent set of chisels. I wish I had a lathe so I can make a round chisel mallet. I was looking for my square one. I don't see it. But yeah, hand tools. Definitely something I need a lot more of. Would love to give me a marking gauge. Probably going to take a video and make one. Because again, if you guys have watched my channel quite a bit, my biggest thing is I love to make stuff. I could buy a lot of tools. Actually, I don't think you saw this earlier, Eco. You can buy stuff like, a bandsaw fence, or, use some of your skills and build your own bandsaw fence. So like if I can build a tool or something, I try to as much as I can. And yeah, lathe, definitely one of the last tools I want. This whole back section of the shop is going to be dedicated for, let's see, yeah. This whole room back here is 8 foot long, so I want a 2x4, probably a Shapeoko, CNC. Underneath of it, probably laser engraver, 3D printer. And then my last little alcove right here will probably be where I slap a lathe. Haven't really figured that out yet, but those are the last tools I need: a lathe, CNC, 3D printer, laser engraver, lathe. I do want, again, a spindle sander, but that's going to be a bench top tool. So obviously something I can pull out and set up on any one of my benches. But I'm pretty much there. I do also want to upgrade my planer. I think Oliver just came out with a 15-inch, 2-phase, 240-volt planer. You can use a drill press as a lathe. Again, I've seen some of those videos, but I just never tried it. I would say I'm more sketchy on it because this drill press does have quite a bit of a throw. I can actually, this cabinet down here removes completely. Yeah, toggle clamps on it. So I can slide this whole cabinet out, and I could lower the drill press and get, a significant throw on it. And I do have the original metal base in there, so I probably could chuck something up through the middle of it. Once you lathe, you never go back. Yeah, see, again, definitely my buddy has a lathe. And he's turned a few mallets. He makes bowls and everything else. And that's one of the reasons why I want one. Because, again, as a carpenter trying to become a woodworker, trying to find projects and gifts that I can give to my clients is kind of like one of my biggest things. So a lathe just gives me the ability to make like little pins and things of that nature. So I'm looking at getting a branding iron so I can brand, pins and hand pins out with flyers and stuff. So I do want a lathe. It's just when I invest in it is the biggest question. What size do I even need? Realistically, I think the small MIDI lathe would do me just fine. But then, the idea of like, hey, if I want to make a table leg, I need the bigger one. But again, I have no experience on a lathe. Probably should start with the smallest one I can get, just to kind of, I've made a hammer. That's about it. I think making something to a circle is a big accomplishment when you never touched a lathe before. Okay, I think I need to flip this around. No. Other way was right. It felt rough, but guess not. Okay, yeah, that's better. There we go. It's almost like it wants to catch right here. I don't know what that is. I guess I should ask you guys, how does this sound to y'all with the mic like being right here next to my chest? Normally I mute any audio like this when I make a video. Since you guys are in it live, is this too loud, like in y'all ears? what you guys are saying. It's good. Sounds fine. Not overly loud. Awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of details as far as lathes that I just don't know. You know, things that need to go into like the, just like a bandsaw. I didn't quite understand the numbers with it first because, like, again, I'm a finished carpenter turned woodworker, so a lot of the tools that I've never touched before, like the bandsaw, drill press, jointer. On the job site, I've used table saws, used plenty of, you know, handheld routers. But when I got into woodworking, you know, first time touching the router table, the radial arm saw was new to me, bandsaw was new, drill press was new, the jointer was new. But after I got my hands on them, I feel fairly confident with them. But the lathe, how they sell them, I think it's by the diameter that they can cut, not the length of them, or their diameter is half, the number is like half the diameter that they sell them by or something like that. It was confusing, just like the bandsaw. It took me a minute. I thought like a 14-inch bandsaw can resaw 14 inches. When I got this one, I was very disappointed, and I can only resaw 6. So like, I just haven't done enough research into lathes. And then it's the collection of chisels that I would have to go buy. And if you guys did see like my older video of me like trying to sharpen chisels and stuff, I do okay. You know, my hand tools can cut, but I don't even know how to begin to sharpen some of those, you know, rounded gouges and stuff. It's probably simple because you only sharpen like the leading edge of it. It just seems a little intimidating to keep all those tools sharp. And one of the things I would like to do is finally get plywood up on the walls in here, because a lot of these hand tools and things, I need to be able to mount stuff on my walls going all the way around. But that wouldn't really stop me from, oh yeah, the hand tools are stopping me from buying the lathe, because if I bought the lathe then had none of the chisels I need, it's the investments. Anyway, trying to decide on what my next tool investment would be, because again, if you guys haven't noticed, I spend a lot of money inside of my shop, but again, I'm a full-time general contractor, so my box truck is where, you know, the most of my love and money should be going. I need a new table saw. I've been using the Flex tool brand over at Lowe's. I love everything about them. So I'm about to buy the Flex table saw and the Flex miter saw. I think that's like a $1,100 investment into the truck. Could go buy a 3D printer and a laser engraver for that same cost, but that's just shop tools that until the shop makes me more money, it doesn't really quite justify itself versus having a reliable table saw on the job site. So like, would love to go spend like $35,000 in tools. Just not quite there yet. The lathe is definitely one of the ones I want to get though. The lathe and the CNC is actually probably my next biggest purchases. Both, you are built for doing lathe work. They are. See, that's another thing I haven't even looked into. I wonder how expensive those chisels typically run. Even like with my hand chisels, just like when I was pairing out this, I would love to have some longer ones. I would love to have a collection of super sharp chisels. Some gouges, so I can try some freehand carving. You know, I have a printer upstairs. I'm about to get a printer down here inside the shop, so I would love to be able to print out stencils and try to just, you know, carve out some of those flower patterns and stuff. It's just, again, investment on trying to pick what my next tool investment needs to be. And then it's not always tool investments. Sometimes it's $500 in plywood for the shop so I can finally hang my lights. All the electrical is done now, but as I speak to my electrician and a few other things, I want to add a mini split out here. So my electrician needs to come back. The Oliver just came out with that new planer. That one runs on 240 volt. I ran no 240 out here. So before I cover up all the walls, I need a couple 240 outlets ran. So I need to get him out here before I can even do the plywood. I need to go buy a new mini split. It's starting to get cold, so it'd be nice to have better heating out here. So it's just the balance of spending money inside the shop when the shop brings me maybe 25% of my actual income. You know, I did that mahogany set of doors. That was like I think it was a $15,000 job with labor and materials. And that was a really cool project. I did a few bookshelves, a couple other doors inside the shop. But again, most of the time I'm out there doing kitchens and bathrooms. So trying to find that balance of where spend money inside the shop or spend money on the truck. The truck probably can use a whole like tune up, probably can use ball joints and all the other things cars need. So, you know, again, trying to find that balance of where I invest my funds into and not letting my tool addiction get the best of me, because that is definitely my weakness. I can go inside of Home Depot with the plan to buy some nuts and bolts and spend $90 very easily. It's not even hard for me to do that. There we go. That actually happened to me a few times. I went inside of Home Depot with the plan to buy some nuts and bolts and came out with like $90 of stuff. I just walked down the loose tools and bought like a square and bought a pair of calipers and bought a few more squares, and I think they have the little husky tapes that I like to use inside the shop. These are like $7 or $8, so I have like 7 of them inside the shop. Yeah, it's kind of easy to spend a large sum of money very quick for me inside of any store that has tools in it. Okay. I do want to say I really appreciate you guys for hanging out with me this long. When I went live, I did not know I was going to actually have people in here with me. I think we actually peaked out at about like 30 viewers. We got 32 right now. That's freaking amazing. Trying to find a label marketplace. Definitely do need to do that. Facebook Marketplace is where I actually got my radio arm saw from. Yeah, Facebook Marketplace is a great place. That's why I got the bandsaw, the radio arm saw, and my drill press from. So probably is the best place to go look, and then just go buy some chisels, you know, from an actual store. Or I might find like an old garage sale where they're tossing out all their old chisels. That would be a great combo if I can find that set up. That's one thing I haven't checked on Marketplace for. Actually, I go up there quite often just looking for various tools. Never check for a lathe. I know radio arm saws are up there all day long. I imagine lathes are probably up there too, because a lot of people either buy them than don't use them. So, good tip on that. And while I have all you guys in here, because 30 some odd viewers at this point, it's definitely surprising for me. I wasn't expecting it. Most of my long format videos, they might get 60, 70 views all together, but having 30 people in here actively watching me live is pretty impressive for me. So I want to ask you guys, do you guys like the live content? Would you guys, because I'll still do live, I'll still do my shorts. I'm trying to debate on if I should be doing more live streams. Will that help me get my watch time hours faster? Because I do have a couple other projects. Because again, right now, what you guys are watching on my YouTube channel is the bench build. The bench build is actually pretty far behind. I think after the bench build, we do... After the bench build, these are 2 Polk style benches. Hello, Arda Golier. Hopefully I'm saying that right. But yeah, after we finish the hand tool bench, we have these 2 Polk style benches. They raise, they're adjustable. Each one of them have a jack mounted beneath them. I love live if it works for you. Definitely does. You know, I'm always in the shop, and again, I think it'll be easier for me to batch out live videos or just, you know, randomly go live for an hour or two, you know, versus me sitting here filming stuff and then trying to edit it later. I think it does work out for me pretty good. So I might pick a day every week to go live, or they might just be random. But again, like what I was about to say is that you guys are so far behind as far as the actual shop upgrades. On YouTube, we're at the hand tool bench. After the hand tool bench, we have a whole series of videos on building these Polk style benches and their adjustable bases. Then I think we go from there to I think it's these. Then we go into building these end tables. Oh yeah, see the lives again, they always get posted though. So even if you don't make it live, the whole video and the content of it will still be posted afterwards. I have like two. I like interacting with people. And yeah, that's what I was thinking. You know, being able to go live gives me the ability to interact with a lot of the people that I do talk to in my comment sections. And it gives me a long format video that when people are actively watching, it can give me watch time hours. And if they decide to go back and watch later, there's a 2 hour long video. And if I get a bunch of people watching those, I can get my watch time hours. Because again, I have enough subscribers right now currently on YouTube, but I need the watch time hours to correlate with it so I can get monetized or a crap ton of shorts views. I think it breaks down, if you were going to get monetized with shorts, you need like 30,000 shorts views every day for 90 days. That's quite a bit. Or you can get like 4,000 watch time hours over the course of an entire year. So I figured that's easier for me to hit. So right now that's where I'm trying to aim at. And I think another thing I'm trying to figure out how is I have a TikTok, my Instagram, and my Facebook. I have a personal Facebook page and my business Facebook page. They're all growing fairly steady. I think TikTok is about like 3,000 followers. Trying to figure out how to get those followers over to these other social media platforms. Because on TikTok and Instagram, the only thing they get is shorts. So I'm trying to figure out if I do lives on my YouTube channel. I do have the long format videos on my YouTube channel. I'm going to start better editing all my long format videos. Currently, my long format videos, they're all older. I do have some better editing techniques I want to implement, starting with using my computer over there. But I just haven't gotten there. So all my videos that I'm uploading are older. So I'm trying to figure out if I did lives more often, would that be a way to bring people over to my YouTube channel? Just trying to, again, check for engagement, see what people actually want to see. Because there's several projects that the followers on my YouTube channel just haven't seen. Because, again, we're probably like, considering how I post my videos, I do post every day, but shorts and long format content, that's probably about 20 videos. And these benches, these end tables are probably about 30 videos, give or take. So that's almost like a month or two before you guys even get caught up to where, you know, Instagram and TikTok are currently at. It's like for you guys to be able to see the crosscut sleds and all those other things, it's going to be a while for you guys to get there. So I think what I'll probably do is set up to where I do a live stream like on half the price. I built 2 crosscut sleds. I could have live streamed building one of the crosscut sleds, made a video on building the other, or get a second camera, go live and record at the same time. But I think that would get too confusing for me. Because after this project, the next one I'll do is pop-up bench dogs. I bought a lot of these cabinet door magnets. I'm going to make some mahogany and walnut dowels for pop-up bench dogs inside the bench. We have a custom fence for the table saw that we're going to build. And again, I'm probably going to be building those tomorrow, maybe the day after. But instead of waiting so long for you guys to see it, if I went live, you guys can kind of see it as I did it. Whew. All right. I'm getting tired. We're getting almost there. A few more slicks of this with the planer, with the hand plane, round over everything. Then I can glue it together. Then I can do final sands and go surprise the kids with their new swords. And hopefully they don't hit each other. They're 2 brothers. So their mom might not like what I did, but they'll enjoy it. I gotta take some more off of this side. It's still high. There we go. Now I can hit these with the round over. Probably can make a smaller round over. I go full depth. I think that works a lot better. My hands are smaller than mine, so they should be able to two-hand it. Alright. How long does the tang need to be? 6.5 inches. plus 3/8, 6.5 plus 3/8. So I can go and chop these. Where's the other ones over there? Let's see. Your videos are great. I don't know how to get people to check, but I know the attention span of people to follow through. Hey, I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, I will check out. Do me a favor, if that's your YouTube channel, put that on one of my other videos so I can go check you out. I don't know how the live chat works out. I think once the live is over, none of these messages I have access to. I think is how that works. But yeah, message me that over on any one of my other videos. I'll go check out your channel, because small content creators definitely gotta stick together, and I appreciate you guys, because definitely helps my channel grow, and I like to help out as much as I can. And yeah, getting people to stay tuned is definitely hard, because people's attention span are definitely shorter. But like, Bourbon Moth is probably one of my favorite woodworking YouTubers. Insider Carpentry over on Spencer Lewis at Insider Carpentry, another one of my favorite woodworkers to watch. They are able to capture your attention span, and when I watch their videos, I notice is the number of cutaways, their quality of edit, their lighting, and their plan before they start the project. They might have all the parts set up to where they can cut from one part to the other. It all falls down to setup and presentation, which, again, I'm pretty much just winging it as a carpenter who builds stuff, not so much as a videographer trying to make the best videos. So I'm trying to make that transition in the way I think when it comes to how I shoot my videos, because I think that would definitely help out with my retention as far as people watching. Another good thing, if you guys have a miter saw station, have a scrap wood bucket right beneath your miter saw, so all your scraps have a place to go. And then we want this to be 6 3/8. 6.5 plus 3/8, so 6 and 7. We'll make it a little shorter than that to be safe. Let's go 6 and 5/8. Yeah, 6 and 5/8 should allow this to bottom out nicely. Then we're going to head over there and round these over. Alright, last step is to round all this over. I probably should do a light sand before I put this together. Yeah, probably sand all the parts. And thank you. I think I've been doing okay. Not quite on, Cass and Nat's level yet, but one day I'm gonna have 1 million people subscribed and following. So work in progress. Let's see, that's this. I just need to round over this blade. And then the last thing I need to do is touch up, sand everything. Let me lower the round over. let's take this over there to the festival sander. Sand all of this up. Yeah, they fit fairly snug. So let me sand everything. And then we'll glue all these up. I probably can go ahead and break down the router table. I do, it might take time, but explaining is legit. Your efforts top tier. I greatly appreciate that. And yeah, that's one of the things I definitely do want to try to put across in a lot of my videos is the ways that I like to tackle things, the reason why I tackle things the way I do. And one thing I do wish I can get across more in my videos is the historical precedent and why we do things certain and why we do certain things a certain way, the importance of moldings, how that affects how you build houses, and just in general the passion for the craft that I happen to be a part of. Building, construction, carpentry today is really so much just nail it up, call it good enough. You know, then the first time I heard that, when caulk and paint makes a carpenter what he ain't, I almost threw up a little bit. And that was actually my boss telling me that, because I care too much. No splinters, but they can go whack each other with this. So then they'll like them. Alright. Realistically, the guards, I could probably sand these once everything's put together. So I think I'm going to go ahead and move the router table and get these ready for glue. Yeah. So let me break down the router table, because everything else I can pretty much sand by hand or afterwards. So let's pivot the camera to where you can actually see the rest of the bench. Squirrel turds, if you're ever in Virginia, I swear to God, I owe you like a custom project of some kind. Because as far back as I can remember on my channel, you have been extremely supportive. And the name is hilarious. I can't. I think you were probably one of my very first comments, actually. And I saw squirrel turds, and all I could do was laugh. So definitely feel like I owe you something. I don't know. Yeah, if you're ever in Virginia, a cutting board, set of coasters, something. Definitely will have to make that happen. Or when I get big, maybe I start mailing stuff out to clients. I definitely have something set aside for you. Because if any of my viewers have earned it, it is you. Let's see, now I'm going to need at least 4 clamps. So that's just going to tap in. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I did make one mistake. I'm not sure how much that's gonna affect this glue up. And that is the combination of these two when I took that second pass on the router. You know, it's a little bit of play in here, so I don't think just clamping this up will make that tight. So I think I'm going to have to slide the guard on. This is probably easier to do over there at my vise. But yeah, I think I'm going to have to slide the guard on, glue that, and glue this pressed tight to one side. You know, glue it up like so. So that way that's tight, and then just encapsulate it with this other one. Because yeah, she moves around. So that's what I'm going to do. Glue it up to one side, and then come back and glue the other one on in about like 30-40 minutes. Let me slide this guard all the way down, and then I'll spread some glue. Again, you're awesome. Respecting that, I feel like I owe you some shit. So, just if you're ever in Virginia, definitely don't hesitate to shoot me a message. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And just know, if I don't have anything made, if I have scraps, I got something being made for you. So yeah, that works out plenty fine. I think this side looks prettier. So what I'm going to do is, one, keep them separated, because I know one side is deeper on half of these. Those are those two. I'm going to fill up some glue on one side. Just down inside of here. Yeah, these are kid swords. They're not going to be in full-on combat. I think this glue would be plenty strong. I could always add a dowel or something in there if I actually was worried about it breaking. I guess it wouldn't hurt to put some glue up here too. Go ahead and glue it to the guard. I think after I get this glued up, though, this is probably where the live is going to stop. Because I'm going to have to wait 30 minutes for this to dry. So yeah, I'm going to get this glued up. And then we'll probably call it for the live stream. I appreciate you, Squirrel Turds and Eco, from coming through. All of your comments, your suggestions and input. I appreciate all of it. And since I probably won't go live with the finished results, I might just snap some pictures and put it on one of those community posts. I might throw a dowel in these, but again, I don't think they're going to break them. I think if anything, they'll break. This is only poplar, so they'll probably actually break the sword first. And just like that, exactly how I planned it, we're going to have 2 katanas. And my nieces and my nephews are going to love them. I think they're going to play with them just fine. Their mom is going to be mad at me, but it'll be adorable. So it all works out. But yeah, I think I'm going to check and see if there's any more comments. Maybe sit here and chat with anybody that's still in here. But I think that might be it for our live stream. This is the second one on the channel for New World Carpentry Solutions. Will do. Appreciate you likewise. If you ever go to South Dakota, definitely will. I appreciate you, boss man. And I think we're going to tune out. Peace, you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.